when you are looking at your goals, you find the right community, the right information, and the right resources to get you there.
How's the saying go? If you hang out with 5 smokers, you'll be the 6th. If you
Right.
hang out with 5 people that are in debt, you'll be the 6th. If you really have these goals, the financial goals and the fitness goals, then you want to find a group of individuals that'll support you through that and that have
Right.
the same goals as well.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Guiding You Forward. I am your host, Tasia, and I'm sitting down today with Brittney Taylor, our corporate fitness trainer. How are you, Brittney?
I'm great. Thank you.
We're going to be talking about some really fun, interesting things. One of the things that I have noticed with setting my routines is social media and the influence of social media on all of our fitness, financial, wellness, any types of goals. We love social media for being such a vast and wonderful place to spread knowledge, but also what are some of those dangers that you think can impact you?
Social media is amazing. We have a lot of information at our fingertips. However, I will put myself in this category as well, where I've done it too, of influencers. Amazing, great information. They're usually looking a certain way. So you're like, if I do what they're doing, I'm going to achieve those goals as well. And I'm going to look like them. And then, gosh, that will put you in a bad mindset. We're all different. Our bodies are going to respond differently to a nutrition program, to
Yes.
an exercise routine. We can't mold ourselves into looking like someone else. I could probably show you a lot of people. I'm like, oh, I would like to look like her, right? But
Yes.
I know that's a bad spot to be in. I don't put myself mentally in that spot. But I do see those or hear those comments a lot from people of, I want to look. She achieved these goals in 4 weeks. Can I? And I'm like, you try to be as encouraging as you can without saying no.
Right. Yeah.
All right, let's just start a routine. Let's see what happens and go from there. So the social media is amazing. I sometimes say it's ruined the fitness industry of thinking that you can achieve goals very quickly and look a certain way with a short amount of time.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for 22 years, and if that were the case, I would have my information blasted on social media saying you can achieve these goals as well and look like this by just doing this for 30 days.
Right.
That's not how it works, and no one wants to hear that. A lot of times it's trial and error as far as figuring out what your body responds to and how to change it. Do you need to lift a little heavier? Do you need to up your reps? Do you need to add more cardio in?
Right. Yeah.
Those are questions I can't answer until you are set in your routine,
Right.
and then we can change it from there. So social media is great avenue. I'm on social media a lot, but take it for what it's worth and know that the human body doesn't respond to something very quickly in 30 days. It's not just a life-changing quick fix. There are great tips and tricks out there that you can follow. But again, it goes back to being a little more realistic with your goals and what works for you.
And I think too, a big thing for me is someone who is also part of this space. And fitness aside, I even follow a lot of financial influencers that also are giving financial advice and telling you, go with this credit card. You should have this type of account. You should have X amount of money saved up in the next 5 years if you're going to be successful. People will say anything on the internet.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably pretty important to be discerning.
Yes.
And to, like you said, right, take it with a grain of salt and also really try to find trusted sources and people that have a great reputation, who you also probably align with their values of how they are and how they're managing their lifestyle and their financial goals and things like that. And I think that goes along with a lot of what you've already talked about with us and some of those tips you really shared of, I think it's very crucial when you are looking at your goals and finding your path and what's going to work, that you find the right community, the right information, and the right resources to get you there.
Oh, absolutely. How's the saying go? If you hang out with 5 smokers, you'll be the 6th. If you
Right.
hang out with 5 people that are in debt, you'll be the 6th.
Hmm.
So it's being aware of your surrounding and surroundings and the people um, that you trust and that you hang out with. It's important to align them with your goals as well.
Hmm.
Great to have all the other friends as well. But if you really have these goals, the financial goals and the fitness goals, then you want to find the group of individuals that'll support you through that and that have
Right.
the same goals as well.
Yeah. And I think, one thing we had talked about previously before we even started recording is the importance of your physical well-being on mental health.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, do you think social media is also can play a part in that as well on your journey of impacting your mental health toward whatever goal you're trying to achieve?
There's no doubt. I mean, again, it goes with having a positive mindset as well, which we spoke about just a little earlier. But people post on social media the positive things in their life.
Mm.
We compare ourselves to those posts and those individuals. Comparison is the thief of joy. So if you continue to compare yourself to that person has this car now because they have this job, they look this way, whatever that looks like.
Mm-hmm.
When we are comparing ourselves financially, the way we look to people on social media, it doesn't end well as far as where your mind goes and the stress that can come with not looking a certain way or not having all the things or the family and the big house and the cars and
Makes it
social.
hard to be grateful for
It,
where you're at now.
it does. It does. Yeah, exactly. Going back to talking about gratefulness.
We talked about community and how important it is to have a supportive community around you in order to support you on your journey, whatever this looks like.
Yes.
And have you experienced any of the same things in your own journey?
Yeah. I did my first figure competition 11 years ago, 12 years ago now. So important to surround yourself with people that support you in your goals.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of times people who are successful and kind of know where you are in life and what you want to achieve, they're your like biggest cheerleaders. Sometimes those individuals that aren't, I don't want to say quite on your level, but just they don't really have the goals or aspirations that you have. They sometimes bring you down and don't have a lot of great things to say. So, whether your goal is walking 20 minutes a day, 4 days a week, whether it's a fitness competition, whatever that looks like, surround yourself with those people that will support your goals.
Yeah.
That is, you can. A lot of times you can't do it alone. You need the support. I know I've had a lot of support along the way, and I did 2 bodybuilding competitions, and once I knew I was going to do them, I told everyone. But everyone was so supportive. They're so supportive. I'm not one to vocalize anything unless I'm
Committed.
not that I'm a people pleaser, but it's just it's like people are going to ask me like, "Oh, how's your diet going? When's the competition? What are your struggles?" Like I need that, and I need everyone to know what I'm doing so they can support me in whatever way they can.
Yeah.
I've always surrounded myself with those people that are super positive and have always supported me. Family, friends, coworkers, acquaintances, people on my figure team. Just so important to have those people in your corner because it's tough,
Yeah.
whether it's the bodybuilding competitions or whether you're trying to lose some weight, whatever that looks like, you have to have the support.
Or you're trying to save money for a house,
Yeah,
like there's
yeah.
big changes or pay off
You
debt,
can't have people that are going to make fun of, your finances or you're saving up for this. And this is what I want to do in life. And it's okay if their goals don't align with yours, but it's important to keep the positive mindset and then to surround yourself with those individuals that will support you in your goals.
Yeah. I think that when it comes to achieving your goals, in a lot of ways, your support system makes or breaks you. So I think that is why it's even probably more important to have the people who do support you through it.
It's so amazing to have that support in those individuals. I remember my second figure competition, I was going through a remodel, and so I did not have a kitchen to cook any of my food.
Great time.
I had people cooking me chicken, bringing me food, people that I didn't even train or see in the gym at the time. And it was just, it meant a lot that they came in and they wanted to help and support. And gosh, I had a lot of people support me in the audience and just along the way. And it'll make or break your goal for sure. I also remember a month before a figure competition, I wanted some cookies.
It's the worst when you get that close and all you want is one cookie.
Yeah, my roommate had a whole bunch of chocolate chip cookies just in a huge container. And I walked past that container so many times. I'm like, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do it. Not going to do it. Going to do it. And I'm like, no, I'm doing it. I ate 9 chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, no.
I didn't get sick, but man, I felt so good. It was so good. And the next day I'm like, oh boy, did I ruin everything? Did I ruin it all? And so I started telling people, I had 9 cookies last night. I had 9. They're like, it's okay. It's fine. You're good. You're okay.
You're okay.
We'll get you back on track. I'm like, okay.
That's what we talk about, that one mess up where you're like, no, everything's done and I can't do this anymore.
No, we're good to go. I was happy. I had my cookies.
And I'm sure you still stepped on stage and looked phenomenal, so I'm not worried.
It was good.
I'm sure it was great.
Yeah, no regrets. No regrets. Just learning experiences.
Absolutely. I love that. So over the course of your career, do you have any moments that have been very memorable or any stories you can share that maybe help people realize that they're on the right path?
Yeah, I do. I like to tell this story, and this is more of a story, a success story, not only for the individual, but to let me know that I'm where I'm supposed to be as far as my job goes. I love it so much. But this kind of, I feel like it encompasses everything we've talked about in this podcast. There's this guy I trained. He came to me for a fitness assessment, and real quick, we talked about goals, how I could help. He was very quiet. He needed to lose 100+ pounds, but that was his thing. And he's like, this is what I want to do. This is how much time I have to commit. Great. We'll call him Joe. So Joe came to me and we started his workout routine 2-3 times a week for 20-30 minutes. This was like January or February. And then he never missed a beat. Never. Walked in the door. Hey, Joe. Have your workout on the board, right? So just an amazing individual, man of few words. I, at this point, don't know his why, but that will come in just a second. But as I just kind of go through the flow of work, I love talking to people, helping people. I love hearing the success stories. But fast forward to the end of summer, Joe came in. Joe, how are you? Good. All right. Workouts on the board. Same as we've always done. And so in that workout session, as I was going over his workout with him, he started to talk a little bit about his why, as to why he came to me and wanted to lose some weight. But he basically, he said, my son plays football. He's a senior in high school. And I want to be able to walk the top of the stairs. I want to be able to see my son play football. Right now I'm embarrassed. I can't walk up the stairs. I don't want people looking at me. I need to lose weight. And I have to sit in a chair just kind of on the left side of the stands. It's like, oh, he didn't tell me that before.
Right.
At this point, Joe had lost like 30-40 pounds.
Wow.
You could tell, looking better, feeling great. Late fall, Joe came in the door like he always did. Joe, your workout's on the board. At this point, he'd probably lost 75 pounds, close to it. Obviously looking good, feeling good. I would say 8-10 months later, he came in the door. He's like, Joe, your workout's on the board. I was like, let's go for a walk outside. It's pretty out, outside. Yeah. It's going to be cold soon. He said, okay. And I'll never forget, before he went in the dressing room, he went, He said, the view was awesome.
Oh.
And for me as a trainer, to see someone's quality of life be better and for them to actually check the goal off their list. But he looked and he said the view was awesome with a smile on his face. I didn't know what he was talking about for a few seconds, but he said, I was able to reach the top of the stadium. I was able to go up the stairs with confidence. And I was able to see my son catch the winning touchdown for his team. I know that meant a lot to Joe. But obviously, this was years later. I'm still telling the story and I can't get through it. But I have a lot of stories like that. But it's moments like that where someone just trusted me as a trainer, trusted in themselves. They were consistent with their routine. They were older, started their workout routine in their early 50s. And so it was a moment for me of like, this is my why for the job that I have. And his why was to be able to watch his son play football. Very good football player. But I'll never forget when he turned to me and said, the view was awesome. I'll be talking about that for a long time.
No, I can understand. I'm over here tearing up.
But it's finding your why, having a positive mindset, staying consistent with your goals, and just trusting the process. He knew he wasn't going to lose the 100 pounds in a few days, months, weeks. But he had a goal in mind, and he had a why. And for him, that was watching his son play football at the top of the stadium. And he made a comment of how he was able to kind of see his son catch the football before it even happened because he had the view. I know a lot of people don't like at the top, the view at the top,
right.
But for Joe, that was important. And so I was able to have a hand in his success. Obviously, I don't do the work for anyone, but it was awesome for him to stay consistent, trust the process, and to be able to watch his son at the end catch that winning touchdown.
What a great embodiment of honestly everything we talked about.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's a really cool story. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, of course.
With that, you've got, I'm sure, 22 years of vast knowledge and many stories to share. What is one thing that you know now that you wish you would have known 5 years ago?
I'm going to go back to what we've already talked about, and that's just having a positive mindset. It's very hard to stay positive in moments of a battle that we're not prepared for.
Yep.
I would say for me, the positivity, the gratefulness, which is newer for me as well, has changed my life for the better, for sure. Again, if I would have asked that question 10, 15 years ago, my answer would be different. But being in the fitness industry for 22 years and watching people's lives change for the better, it's just an amazing experience. I wouldn't sit here and tell you to eat better and work out if I didn't know for a fact it worked. I'm not a salesperson whatsoever. But I want everyone to reap the benefits of it. It's free for the most part. It's tough because we never know, like when, time is that, time is something we don't know when it expires.
Yeah.
So it's important to kind of, keep a positive mindset, set your goals, and surround yourself with the best people that you can.
No, I love that. And I wholeheartedly agree with you based on my own experience. Like I've said, we've talked many times about it. And there's definitely a lot of power in keeping a positive mindset and gratitude, especially when we have to weather the storms.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, last we'll end on a more fun note, but what's your favorite way to relax, Brittney? At the end of the day, you've trained like 20 people, you've had amazing classes, you've changed lives, and you go home and you relax. What is it you love to do?
Talk to my chickens. That's what I do. No, I love summertime. I'm from Louisiana. However, being here in Utah, I love the 4 seasons. I love being in nature. I love hikes. I love paddleboarding. So I would say just being outside with my dogs and my animals, and when I can, paddleboarding it would be my like de-stressor, saving grace.
Oh, I love it. Well, Brittney, thank you so much for being here today. And I do want to personally thank you for everything that you do at this organization at Mountain America. You really are making an impact. And I've seen it not only with others in the gym, but also with me personally. So thank you for being here and having this discussion with us today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's awesome.
And thank you to everyone for tuning in to this episode of Guiding You Forward. We'll see you on the next one.